screen there.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm going to have you introduce yourselves in a minute. This is going to be my first actual recording for my website, and I'll be putting these recordings on YouTube for future, for the future. So my name is Julie Flores, and I am creator of the Quantum Feather website. I am a healer and among other things. So, but this episode today is going to be about two people that I have met, and I thought it was very beneficial for me to share their information with you on this first show. So I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, and we're just going to roll right into the discussion. So welcome, and Gordon, I think we'll start with you.
All right. My name's Gordon, and I started my awakening in 2012, and it kind of was slow at first. I didn't even understand what it was. I was just starting to do a lot of research. Then I started drawing, and I started drawing some sacred geometry, which is, growing up in my family, that was taboo to, anything sacred geometry was considered satanic or something like that. But now I know that's not true. I started researching the drawings that I was drawing. I was drawing them very quick too. I've always, when I was younger, I drew all the time, but this was different. This was actually, sort of abstract. And since then, not too long after that, I started getting messages from my higher self, and we'll talk about that later. But that's about what I had to say.
Okay, thank you. And Danielle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Danielle. I'm actually Gordon's sister, and we just found out, I guess, about a year ago that we were twin flames. And my awakening was about 2008 after our dad passed away. And okay, so I'm a Reiki master and a divine intentional healing practitioner. And also I'm a silversmith working with gemstones and crystals. And
so welcome. So let's get into discussion. I think
I guess I could bring in animals, and I rescue a lot of animals too.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And just so you know, twin flames and twin souls are the same.
Right.
And I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and describe that, but let me say this first before we get started. You can find a link to some information about Gordon on my website at the Quantum Feather. He was in my last newsletter, and there's some pictures of the geometry that and different things that he has drawn. So if you want to see those, go there. And I'm also going to put a link to Danielle's jewelry, so you can also go there and see her work. Okay, thanks. Okay, Gordon, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that that twin flames, twin souls, being your sister, whether it's your sister or whether it's your friend or whether, it doesn't really matter. This lifetime, we're not together, and we don't plan on being together. So it's not like my sister or twin flames or twin souls, because we still don't even know. We don't know what kind of relationships we had throughout our past lives. So
they spend their lifetime waiting for their twin flame, and because they think it's this this romantic love relationship. In actuality, it's different types of relationships, right?
And the reason why it's made to be that way is to suppress the feminine energy on the planet, which is it's done well. They've done it well. So if they can keep brother and sister from finding out their twin souls or twin flames, then they've done their job.
Right. So they can't come together to use their power, or their I don't want to say power, but use their energy to create a whole, something out of a whole.
Right, exactly. Yes, because me and my sister, we woke up at the same time. she was into it a little earlier than I was, but when we came about the Ascension, the event, and all that other stuff that goes with it, you know, we were both on board with it at the same time. So,
Right.
so that, you know, that energy between us was there for sure.
Mhm.
It still is.
Right.
And Danielle, what about you? What do you think about the relationship with Gordon being your twin flame or your twin soul?
It was very unexpected. To say the least. Well, I mean, because growing up, you know, he was so annoying.
All the time.
Yeah, because he's younger. He's like 4 years younger than me, you know. And it's weird that we were talking about the fact that I started waking up about 2008, and he started waking up about 2012, and that's that 4-year age difference. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I was thinking about that earlier. But yeah, but we're like, I mean, we're like best friends now. We talk about everything.
Yeah.
We talk to each other. I mean, I probably talk to him more than I talk to, you know, my best friend over in California.
And it made others in our family a little jealous as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like we came out of the religion and the, you know, the
Right.
Bible, you know, upbringing that we had. It's, you know, everybody else was kind of like, they're worried about us. That's their whole thing. We're praying for you. We're worried about you. Yeah.
Right, but people that live 900 miles away from each other woke up at the same time. There's nothing coincidental about that, is there?
Right.
No.
Right.
So,
And the real purpose of doing these videos is to start letting people know that it's okay to have these discussions.
Right.
right,
You know, like you're saying, it's very hard and difficult to even talk to your family about it.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Because they're always, you know, they're always trying to say, you know, read your Bible. And I know I've read my Bible my whole life. And I'm not saying the Bible's wrong. I'm saying it's just been misinterpreted. That's all.
It's been added. It's been added over and over and over. You can add to it. You can't take away from it, though.
Right. Right.
And
That's
now,
just like the sun. You got to have the sun in order to get to heaven. Well, you got to go through our sun to ascend.
Right.
so this would be a good point, Gordon, for you to start discussing that. So let's start talking about Ascension.
It all plays into the same you know, the same result. You know, the central sun. You know, it's all about the sun. That's what's all over the Bible about Jesus the Son. You know, Jesus Christ the Son. The Christ is crystalline. You know, it's all there. It's misinterpreted, just like my sister said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people say that pagans used to worship the sun, you know, S-U-N, and that's paganism and idolatry. And so at some point in our history, that was turned into sun worship of the sun, S-O-N, like Jesus. And
Right. Right. Well, you know, my whole theory when I woke up, I had 3 things that I was looking for. I was looking for, I wanted to know about unconditional love and logic, and something else. Oh, and our history. You know, and if you think about it, you don't want to worry about our history books right now. You want to go to the oldest history that you can find, and that's the Samaritan text and you know, Gnostic the Gnostic beliefs was described on the Samaritan text, but and that's where I started at, and it's nothing even close to what the Bible has to say. You know, it's all been added to it.
Okay, so Gordon had a session with me. I do quantum healing hypnosis technique. And in that session, we discussed some things about the Ascension and the event. I know the event's a big topic, and we're not trying to write on it in this video. We're just trying to help determine what's really happening at this time. So Gordon explained it to me in a really, really good way, which I think will be helpful to everybody else. So Gordon, I guess you can start with tell us about the central sun and how that affects everything that's going on right now.
Okay, the energy from the galactic central sun is going to be coming from the center of the universe, and the center of the universe is going to be getting its energy from the center of the cosmos, where source resides. And source is not a male or it's source is pure love. Um, so this love energy is coming from uh, the most central point of the cosmos, and it's filtering down all the way through the universe and through the galaxies, and the this wave of love uh, basically is it's already here. It's just the veil blocks it. It's been here since 2000. It's probably before then, but 2012. Um, so if it wasn't for the veil, it would already be here. And
Yeah,
and the,
you're breaking up a little bit, Gordon.
Bring your phone in a little bit.
yeah.
Are you hooked to Wi-Fi?
No, yeah, I'm hooked to Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Hey, so you said the wave, is it more than one wave, or is it just that wave that's still affecting?
No, we're gonna get different waves. There's gonna be numerous waves come in. There's gonna be a main event though as well. That's gonna change everything, and that's the reason why certain people are awake and certain people aren't. For that reason to bring on this event and help with the ascension of humanity. Uh, and, anyways, at the time of the main event, they call it compression breakthrough. It's when all the negativity from the center of the earth is released from the Akash, and it meets the galactic wave of love in the center, and creates a balance. It creates a balance on the planet, a balance enough to where people can start awakening, just like we have. Except it's going to be a whole. It's going to be the whole awakening. It's not just going to be some. It's going to be all. So it'd be everybody's beginning track to the ascension.
So yesterday we talked about those people who first came here, and during your session you also talked about this being a game, that we actually came here to participate in this game.
Yeah, the game, or what you want to call just physicality. Mm-hmm. We came here to experience physicality from the upper dimension. So let's just say that we'll just start with Source wanted to experience the opposite of love, and that's where it all started. So on down the line, eons ago, the universes were made, and one of them was made a physical universe, which is this one, and this is the one everybody wanted to experience, physicality. So from then on, they as they started experiencing the lower dimensions, let's just say, they started becoming more dense, and eventually we came on down to the fifth dimension, which is about as low as you can go before you really start darkening things too much. So they wanted to go lower than that, so they did. And when this happened, they wanted to have a way to they wanted to not have a way to get back to where they came from. So they came here without a soul.
So explain explain that. Explain what the soul is and the purpose of it.
Okay, the soul is a connection to to the fifth dimension, if you want to say, it's where spirit would reside or would have access to. So if you come here without a soul or without the feminine version of spirit, so they came down here with the masculine only. So this makes it very difficult to get back because the love of spirit is missing, and that's the reason for the reason that it's we haven't been able to get back where we came from.
Okay, so you talked about the volunteers. So talk a little bit about
that. Okay, the volunteers are the ones from the angelic realm. Because it was so hard for the original players to get back, because they wanted it that way. Basically, the rest of the universe felt like it was time to react, because no one was ever going to come back to their true reality in the higher dimensions. So that's just like I tell everybody, we're actually going back to heaven, and then people don't realize that. So anyways, where was I?
we were talking about the volunteers and how.
Okay. So the decree was made that we were going to intervene. But the only intervention can be done is through incarnating into a physical body, just like everyone else is, because of the law of the universe and free wills. It's a free will zone. So what they did is they called for volunteers in the angelic realm, and that would be what me and my sister are. We are the feminine and masculine version of that being in the angelic realm, or we are the feminine masculine version of Source, because we're all a fractal of Source.
Mm-hmm.
So if you took everybody's consciousness around the entire universe and you put it all in one big ball, we're Source.
So let me ask you. Well, in the histories, they talk about the fallen angels. So, what is your perspective on them?
We are the fallen angels.
Okay. So
we all were. Yes.
Do you think there are the angelic aspects of us that have forgotten who they are? And
oh yes, definitely. When we came here as volunteers, we knew we were going to forget. It's just that's the way that's the way it's done when you become a physical being. When you leave the mother and they cut the umbilical cord, there goes your memory.
So, but what's happening with the
it disconnects you from spirit is what the umbilical cord does.
So, but the event is changing that. It's reconnecting.
Say that again.
The event. It's actually connecting that energy back to spirit.
Oh yes, for sure. And that's going to be the volunteer's job after the event, is to round everybody up and get them on the same playing field as us.
So at this point, what do you feel as being from that realm and trying to wake people up is your biggest challenge right now?
Football and basketball and
raising families.
There's so many distractions. There's so many distractions. I mean,
distractions.
You got the media, the government. They're all on the same side as Hollywood. So that's a big distraction.
Well, you're trying to wake everybody else up, and it's like they're They're so caught up in the 3D. I mean, we all are, and to some extent, caught up in the 3D. But some, oh my gosh, it's just so hard to get them to wake up to what's really going on. It's
I don't.
change, so they're not interested in change.
Yeah. They don't have time for it. That's what. Yes. So, Gordon, did you want to add something else?
No, I don't know. Did I interrupt you, Dan?
No, I'm good.
I was saying that I don't look at myself as any different than anybody else. I'm just lucky I got to wake up at this time.
So and you're on your path.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm lucky I found my path.
What did you say? Path trumps everything else. What was that? There was the three things.
Yeah, path trumps everything. But then you have your vibration, and you have your consumption.
Consumption, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you take in food, medicine.
Right. Physical, non-physical. What you watch on TV, what what your thoughts are.
So say that again. Path, consumption, and what was the other one?
The vibration.
Vibration.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. You know what? No. I got that backwards. It's path, and then it's service to self or service to others, and vibration. And vibration has to do with all three of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Consumption fits in with
vibration as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, right. Because when you wrote it down, you broke it down into ABC for each one or something.
Oh yeah, I did do that. Oh Jesus, we have to put that on the whiteboard.
I told her it needs a whiteboard. Yeah. So
we could have videos on the whiteboard.
So you were receiving some of your drawings had timelines and things on it too. So tell us what your understanding of that was.
Well, actually, Danielle was here. You were here, weren't you?
I didn't understand it, but I was here.
I was there at my picnic table, and that drawing came out while she was here, and neither one of us was. She definitely didn't understand what I was drawing. I really didn't understand it either, and then I did a write-up on it, and the write-up is I think I got it next to the drawing itself, and when I did the write-up, then I understood it.
But it was about timelines and vibration and all that stuff.
Time has been made linear to us for a reason, due to fear. Like, oh gosh, I'm gonna miss this. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I don't have enough time. It's not about that. It's about vibration. Time is directly proportionate to frequency. So if let's just say you look at the way the galaxy is set up. It's a setup in a spiral. All the star systems are spinning in a spiral around the galactic central sun, and it's like a clock. It's like the dial on a radio on your radio in your car. Mm-hmm. You dial up to a certain frequency, and that's where you are. So as we get closer to the central sun, we're increasing our frequency, and it's going to happen. It's not like you can't stop it. The dark can't stop it. And besides, the dark and the light are on the same side anyway. It's just it's all about waking us up. This is supposed to.
Now, I think what the good thing about this is people actually have something physical they can validate what you're saying by. Because people admit it feels like right now time is speeding up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, sometimes you have little glitches in the day, and deja vus are happening a lot more, and and then you go through your regular day, and you're like, what happened? Or time went by so fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's validation. Time is speeding up, and that's good because that means we're all starting to vibrate at a higher vibration.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, because it's our destiny. We are on the spiral, and we're headed towards the central sun. And you know, the central sun is considered a black hole, but guess what? It will put you in another dimension. It's a portal, and that's where our ascension will be, at the center of that.
You know, and just for those people who are still, you know, who look at this, and my friends who are Christians and who practice other religions, I want them to understand that vibration and what you're talking about is the same thing as living a spiritual life. It's still living those spiritual practices the way that the Bible teaches. Mm-hmm. However, it's not being controlled by one God, by one being.
Right.
Or by a set of priests who are trying to control.
Controlled by everybody.
Yeah, this is a person.
We're all the same part. We're all the same God.
What is that you always say? Take the fear out of the Bible. What is that you always say?
Yeah, take the fear out of the Bible, and there's the real story.
Yes. No, I love that.
Full of fear. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot more people need to hear that. And actually, I just got a because I really, you know, that's like, yes, that's what more people understand. The Bible's not evil either. It's interpretation. It's there to, you know, and I, by all means, I'm not trying to push Christian religion on anybody. I'm just saying that in all holy books, there's truth in there.
Well, and everything has its place. I mean, even religion has its place. And, you know, take our mother, for example. Our mother she's Baptist, and she's a wonderful person, and she is so much service to others over herself. So, I mean, that just shows it doesn't matter if you're in religion or not. She is, you know, she's ascending.
Yes.
I was shown that religion was the closest to the light you could get. So it was actually a good thing to have religion on this planet while we were in the dark age.
So some people had to try to take it over to manipulate it to continue to stay in that dark cycle is what has happened.
Right.
But that's also starting to change as well.
Oh yeah. My mother's
yeah. So
what did you say?
My mother's changing, huh?
You hear people say, "Oh, you're a Christian and you're this and you're that." You're taking a side. I'm here to say, you know, this is for everybody. We're all ascending.
Right.
Yeah. There's no.
I've heard a lot of people say that if you're religious, you're not going to ascend. I'm like, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing to do with it.
Julie, should I go over what I was shown during the meditation? The eclipse?
Yes.
All right. It was me and my sister were on the phone. My twin were on the phone, and we were getting ready for the eclipse meditation, which was very powerful. It changed timelines on this planet big time. It brought everybody up to a higher frequency.
Which eclipse was that, Gordon? Which one was that?
That was the one in was it August, Danielle?
Yeah, August or September. Was it the fall? Was it the
fall
equinox? Fall, whatever.
Yeah, it was.
It was the one where everybody was involved in the end of the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right before it, I kept having these. I was being shown by my higher self that, you know, what's going to happen after ascension, and I was basically shown that everybody's going to wake up in some type of I don't know, what did I call it? Some kind of a sleep stasis in some type of chamber.
Stasis chamber, yeah.
Like a stasis chamber, and get out of it and see all these other people getting out of their stasis chambers and walking over to them and say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it was a great journey, wasn't it? Dark, light, didn't matter. Thought he was going to the same place.
Well, let me add this, because I also watch a lot of people on YouTube who do journeying with psychotropics and things like that. They talk about seeing an artificial matrix system that has been set up and AI intelligence.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that, Gordon?
Well, I think the artificial, the matrix on in this planet is the crystalline grid that's been here forever, and which is being changed now to from 3D to 5D because like we were talking before about the projection guns from the central sun are projecting the hologram of what we see in our physicality. Atoms, matter, whatever. It's all part of a projection from source, which filters that down through to the central sun. So um, so the crystalline grid has to be made of a certain material and a certain and set up in a certain way for each dimension. So the 3D grid has been here forever, and now they're changing it to 5D, and you can see this change taking place on Pallades One website. What is it called, Danielle?
Disclosure News.
Disclosure ID from Italy. Yeah, and I never realized it before, but they talk about projection and holographic. They talk. It's all has to do with like a projector on a movie screen, which is basically what we are, except for we are real. This is our physicality. It is real.
So you don't feel like this is another trap of the system to try to keep us in a matrix system?
No. I think the 5D grid coming in is going to. It has to be in place for the event to happen and for us to get the new energies.
Okay, and I just have to ask because some people will argue with you.
The crystalline grid of the 3D grid is the veil. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's the ethosphere that surrounds the planet.
So with the new 5D grid, it's going to help us actually move from a veiled existence to seeing more.
Right. If you take white light and send it through a prism, it creates a rainbow of colors. So at each dimension, you have a crystalline grid to create that environment or that physicality for that dimension. So as the light comes through and the 3D grid is dropped or the veil is gone, then the white light enters the crystalline grid. The crystalline grid in the new 5D crystalline grid and changes everything. The color of everything, it looks different. We may just be starting over, which would be fine with me.
Yeah, and let me say this too, because in some of my other QHHT sessions, I actually have people say that they're from an 11th dimensional existence, and some of them are actually watching what's going on with the Earth grid change. So as we move into a 5D existence, do you think we're still playing this game?
Well, yeah, we're always going to be playing the physical game. We're always going to want to experience physicality because you can't experience that as pure energy. That's the whole reason for becoming physical. But it became too dark, so we're going back to where it's not dark.
So that's exciting. We're moving back into that less
right
area where we can use our spiritual.
Exactly. And we want to be here forever because why not?
Right. And that goes into a good subject. I'm going to bring Danielle in right now. And we actually were talking yesterday, our practice session, I should say. And we were talking about healing and what's been going on. So let everybody know, Danielle, about what's going on with you and the healing realm right now.
Well, I'm a Reiki master, but I also was after I was attuned to Reiki master, my Reiki master received a download for a new healing modality, and she's actually the founder of this healing modality. It's called Divine Intentional Healing, and I just recently became aligned to that in March. And it's not going to take the place of Reiki, but it's more. It's working with the angelic realm. You're actually a channel for the energy from the angelic realm. You're working with 5 archangels, and the healing is, they actually called it miraculous healing, but but the name is called Divine Intentional Healing. But there's been a lot of talk about the healing modalities that are coming forward are going to be different. There's a lot of new ones coming forward, and I feel like this is one of the new ones they were talking about because it's amazing. It's a lot of it has to do with self healing, helping you release ego that's not beneficial, clearing out stuff, anything that's not beneficial to you, and healing you on the emotional and the physical level. And then you can actually use it on others too. But it's, and all healing modalities have their place. And I'm not saying Reiki's not going to be beneficial, but I could see moving forward in the future using this more than Reiki. It's
probably because we're moving to 5D, so therefore the newest things are coming out to match that frequency.
Right. The energies are changing, so the healing modalities are also changing.
What about the animals? You do a lot of healing with that as well, with them?
Well, the thing with the divine intentional healing, that was the one question I had because I work with animals so much, and being a Reiki master, I mean, I work on my animals probably more than anything. But the divine intentional healing, because the healing energy is so strong, they cannot handle it. So it is not meant for the animal kingdom. It's only meant for humans at this point.
Do you think they'll be able to go to the 5D existence, or what would happen with that? Do you know?
Gordon and I have actually gotten information about the animal. The animals. Some animals were actually. What was that you got about the animals? They're actually, some of them are going to be ascending and actually transforming into, or what do you call it? Evolving into humans.
It's their turn. They've been stuck for eons. They've been stuck reincarnating just like we have, but they weren't able to move into the next. I guess you want to say dimension. They started down at the bottom just like everybody did that first came here, not the volunteers, the first players or the first ones that wanted to experience this.
Right, and there's actually been a few of my animals that I've been told that are
go ahead.
evolved, or what was the word they used? Evolved or highly evolved animals. So they're some are on this level, and then they have some that are actually going to evolve into human form at some point. When we go to 5D.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that's going to work, but
now, a lot of
exciting to see.
There's a lot of animal extinctions going on right now. A lot of whales washing up on shores and things like that. Do you think they're just moving on to the 5D?
Yeah, that's probably what's going on. There's humans that are leaving, and there's animals that are leaving. So I would think it's part of the whole change, and people are going into 5D, and animals are probably also going into 5D. I would think so. So.
Well, the whales, the dolphins, or the porpoises, or whatever you want to call it. I've heard this before. This did not come from my higher self, but it was talked about that they're here to suffer and teach us compassion, just like we talked about this with other people. And they're actually here. They're not going to be changing into humans. They're from another dimension, and they came here to wake us up.
So they're going to return back to where they came from.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I think a lot of people connect with them. If you actually go, I know people go to Hawaii to swim with them and be with them. And even in some of my QHHT sessions, people
they're all here.
Very connected to the dolphin.
Yeah, they're all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even in Florida.
Science don't admit it, or doctors don't want to admit it.
Yeah. So at this point right now in the Ascension, and trying to pull together something that people can understand in a very simple way, I think that's our goal. Because a lot of this metaphysical stuff that's coming out, people are confused. So I know one of my goals is to try to simplify what's going on, but actually pull it into everyday life. Like we talked about religion, which I think is good. We talked about animals and how our animals who are around us are actually going through the similar things. But higher self, Gordon, I want to ask you this because this is what people are going to say. How do you know you're talking to your higher self, and how do you know it's not something dark or you know, dangerous to be communicating with? How do you know?
Because everything that's coming out of my mouth has nothing to do with darkness. It has to do with love, unconditional love. You know, the complete opposite of fear, and you know, and it's my first intuitive thought, and I just trust my first thought, and that's where your higher self resides. The higher self is the Holy Spirit in the Bible. You have to go through your higher self to um, to communicate with spirit. It's just like in the Bible, you have to talk to the Holy Spirit to communicate with God.
Yeah, I think you said something very important there. This is what I try to tell people. When I'm trying to do a session,
nothing.
Your first thought, you can't. You start. Your ego steps in and it starts trying to control everything. But it comes so quickly to us, we just dismiss it a lot of the time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You think it's like some crazy thing you just had, but it wasn't. Because every thought you have is a memory. Every single thought you have is memory.
And somebody said that about imagination. They were saying, oh, it's just your imagination. You know, all imagination is memory that had come from somewhere.
Right.
You know, is that something somebody?
Right.
Yeah, I read that. I thought it was it made, you know, a very good point. And because you know, children use their
Well, I mean,
all the time, and
you can use your higher self and put it. You can put your higher self in a different perspective. But look at video games. You know, why do you think video games are so prevalent right now? That's because it kind of gives you an idea of what reality really is in these other dimensions. You know, so here you're playing a video game. You're your higher self, and the human portion of your higher self is in the video game playing, and you're giving him instructions the whole time how to get through the game.
And that's a perfect.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay.
So, we're going to finish up this video. I know yesterday it flowed a lot better because I think it was more organic. But no, I think the messages that we're getting out today are very good because we're going to meet again and we're going to share more information that comes, you know, to both of you. So I'm really excited about maybe, Gordon, we can help start showing people how to trust and commute with their higher self. Because during this time, being able to have that voice that guides you is really important. Snapping that hypnosis that people have been under for a very long time. That guidance already resides within us, and we don't need to, you know, look for outside sources on that. And then Danielle, with the healing modalities changing. As a healer, myself too, I'm like, even though I have practiced in a certain way, I know that is changing as well. Because what's telling me that is that what I'm seeing is not beneficial for humanity. People are not healing right now. You know, they're still stuck in the same cycle of that revolving door in and out of our medical. And I'm not here to bash our medical facilities. I'm here to say that they are not trained. They don't know what to do right now with what's going on.
They cure the symptoms, not the they don't cure the disease. They cure the symptoms.
Right. And also too, as you know, as we go through the event, the Ascension, especially after the main event, the compression breakthrough, the healers are going to be needed more than ever, because there's going to be a lot of freaked out people.
Yes.
After that happens, there's going to be a need for a lot of healers, especially on the emotional level. You know, so get ready, healers.
It's not just the physical we're dealing with anymore. Even though the Ascension symptoms, there is a list of Ascension symptoms. Gordon, do you know what those are?
Ascension symptoms?
Mm-hmm.
Have them all the time. Headaches.
I get headache.
Headache. Your throat chakra's always affected. Your sinuses, and people want to say, "Well, that's normal." Well, that's because we've been ascending a long time.
Dizziness. People are getting dizzy.
Yes.
They think it's vertigo, but it's actually that. I mean, but the main thing people need to remember is to stay grounded.
Ringing in the ears is tinnitus.
Yeah.
That's the frequency of Gaia changing.
Right.
You're in the middle of it.
It's very, very important.
Resonance goes up and down all the time.
Let me say this disclaimer, though. We're not telling people not to get medical assistance or anything if they're experiencing these symptoms. Just
no, but that'll have to be another check.
I work with another healers, and I put an article
for a very long time.
I had put up an article with Ascension symptoms, and a lot of my friends who are healers and are working shamanic work said, "You know what? That's exactly what's going on with me right now." I didn't really know what it was, and it passed in a few days, and then it'll come back a little bit. But
me and Danielle are going to help you with your with your issues.
With the what?
With, you know what it is, huh? You know what it is?
What?
Your diet.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Their diet.
You can have me and Larry can both benefit from some guidance with that.
Hey,
yeah.
And Gordon, talk about real quick what Higher Self said about the grounding, and the healing we receive when we ground.
The healing we receive when we ground, that is you look at like a battery, okay? If you're not connected to the post, you're not going to get any energy, right? So when you connect when you are, grounded, when you're touching the earth, or if you're grounded consciously, it's like the circuit is connected, and you can get the energies from Gaia to heal you.
Well, let me say this, okay? So I heard from
the sun. You see, you're getting energy from the central sun, but if you have shoes on, the energy's not going to penetrate. So therefore, there's no connection.
Right.
Okay.
So it's just
I understand that. They've been teaching this in
chakra.
Let me ask the question. They've been teaching metaphysics for a long time, how important grounding is, even during meditation practices and Buddhism and everything. But right. I just wanted to say, I was listening to someone the other day, and she's a metaphysical teacher. She's saying right now what's happening is if you're trying to ground, you're trying to pull that energy from the fifth dimension down here. That what we should be doing now is the opposite of that. So how do you feel about that?
I still feel like that's how you heal. Because the energy sitting above your crown chakra, no matter what dimension it's from, it's not going to make it through your body until you ground yourself. It's wanting to go through your body, but it can't because you're not grounded. So therefore, your disease and whatever else is just going to take control of all your cells, and you require that energy for healing.
So with the earth moving into the new earth, if people are grounding to the old earth, wouldn't that affect them in a certain way?
Well, just have the right intention that you're grounding to the new 5D earth, because Gaia is Gaia. She's going to be in 3D to 5D until we get there. So it's still the same Gaia.
Yeah, I know it's confusing, and that's the only place I heard that. And, I was like, everyone is taught, to ground in order to be able to connect appropriately. And it makes sense.
Well, me and Dick, and we didn't resonate with the new earth grounding. We didn't resonate with it. That was just us.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have heard the intention, hold the intention to ground in the 5D, the energies of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense.
And it also, the information that came through Gordon and I were talking about it, was to actually walk around outside without your shoes for at least an hour, which is hard to do.
Now, I know, especially yes. No, I believe that. I do.
And also, we had heard the conscious sound. You just imagine, like the roots of, the root system in the ground coming up through your, like attaching to your legs, all the way up your body, all the way around you, and that constitutes the same as grounding.
Okay. So at the end of this video, let's talk about the jewelry. And Danielle, I'm gonna let you first because you make some really beautiful jewelry, but it's not just beautiful. So, tell people about it and tell it its benefits, and then I'll have Gordon tell people about what he's wearing right now.
Okay. Well, I didn't make it. He made his own.
So let's talk. I wanted to talk about that too. So
okay. Well, I consider myself a metalsmith because I work with copper and silver, and I love turquoise. It's like one of my favorite things. But all gemstones, all crystals have healing properties, for the physical and the emotional, just like essential oils do. So, but I'm also being led. As much as I like working with a lot of metal, a lot of detail, I'm also being led probably the last year to work with more crystals.
More crystals?
With minimal metal. I mean, so I do a little bit of both. So probably more the healing community, the people that I'm connected with in the healing community are probably more drawn towards that type of jewelry. And then, and then I always make sure I infuse my pieces with, like Reiki. I always infuse them with Reiki and send them on their way.
I think that's great.
I always tell people I have the best job in the world. It's amazing. I just love what I do. And I get to work from home and be with all my animals all day long.
Tell everybody where they can find your website to look at.
Oh, okay. It's Gemstone Jewelry by Danielle.com. Or you can find me on Facebook, same name, Gemstone Jewelry by Danielle.
Yeah, and I'm going to put a link as well on my website, so look for that. Okay, Gordon, tell us about that piece on your neck.
Okay, this is Centimani stone. I made it just out of whatever I could find in the shop.
See, there's a bunch of metal on here. You should know about that.
I had crystals on it, but they fell off. But anyways, it's called the Centimani stone, and it was it has been said that it comes from they come from the Pleiades. They were put here eons ago for this reason, for us to for the event. When the event happened, if you put this stone up to the sun, you can it's translucent. So it's solid. I've never seen anything like it before. There's nothing that I've ever seen that see through it like that.
It's tackionized.
It's supposed to be, you're supposed to wear it or have it near you during the compression breakthrough, as it helps energies to filter out to the rest of the planet. That may not be vibrating, as high as like in the mountains or inside caves and stuff like that. So they just kind of spread them out across the planet. And Danielle was sent a bunch of them to send out around to go put out around where she lives.
Danielle, you ever thought about using any in your jewelry?
No. I just haven't. But they're both. I mean, I think they're more for carrying around in the pocket, and then also burying in certain areas around the planet. They've been buried all over the planet. I think they're
grid. It helps set up the grid on the surface versus the grid.
Okay. Yeah.
So where do you get them?
Cobra's blog.
Cobra's blog. Like 2012 they came out. Yeah.
Yeah, 2012 Blogspot. Cobra's. We could actually put the link to there.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll add that too, so y'all can take a look at it.
Yeah, but they've been tackionized. I think that's what they call it, and I'm not sure exactly what that means. Gordon, you remember what that means?
Tachyonize just means it has something to do with 0 point. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's some kind of boost. I don't know exactly what it is, but.
Let's see a close up of your piece, Gordon, one more time. Okay. Yeah, just so people can kind of think. And so it's
that's a homemade there. I got a I use solder.
So is there any last messages y'all want to share with everybody before we end?
Well, I mean, we can. Well, you know, we can do a show about putting spells on yourself too. We can do that one too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very good. Actually, I was looking at some of that today.
Yeah.
So that'll be our next show.
Yeah, spells are. Remember that spells are words, and the reason they call them, they want you to spell them because they're spells.
Yes.
Yeah.
They create a certain vibration, and they it's either negative or positive depending on how you.
And Danielle, any last messages?
No, just continue to spread the light. I mean, that's all you can do, and you can't force it on anybody. Just just stay out of judgment, stay out of drama, and just love everybody. That's how you spread the light is to just accept people the way they are, and they'll look at you. Hey, what you got that I don't have?
Or they want it too.
Right.
They want to be in that vibration too.
Mm-hmm.
And then next time we come together, wear a piece of your jewelry.
I know. I never remember to wear anything.
We can show it, okay? But all right, I'll send the link out for next.
Go ahead.
Now I was going to finish up, but go ahead. You had one more comment.
Gordon?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I just see people at work that I can tell that they're just waiting to be awoken.
Yeah.
I can see the service to others. In everything they do, I can just sense the high vibration with them, but still just they're you can tell they're not awake.
And feeling this happened to me. Like I couldn't work my job anymore because I did not vibrate with it anymore. It killed me to have to go in and do something 5 days a week that didn't resonate with me. So
right.
People are leaving their jobs. They're trying to do what actually feels good to them.
Right. I mean, I won't say where I work, but Danielle knows that, we talked about this the other day. It's the type of job I have. I deal with people, and I do it now. I'm probably not supposed to, but I talk to customers all the time about this stuff.
Yeah.
I get some really, overage people that, in the 70s and 80s, and they're just, they just have so much medication they're on. Look, I'll throw them a bone. Because it only takes a little bit, and see how they react to it.
Right. But okay, well, I hope sharing this information today helps. And we're going to meet again in a week, and we're going to have another hour of discussion. I'll make sure spells is one of them, and we'll discuss some of that, some other topics as well. Yeah. All right. So thanks, y'all, and I appreciate y'all being here. And y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Okay.
Yeah. Love y'all.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm stopping the video. The video stopped. Can y'all still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna send a reminder out. Y'all want to do it Saturday again?
Sure.
Okay, and
yeah, 40.
What's that?
Still recording.
Oh, it is?
Oh, it is. I thought it stopped. Oh, let's try it again. Pause, stop.